Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host 𝗏𝙭𝗍. Joining me today is General Ravi Shankar, and this is a sit-down talk, and we're going to have a conversation about China because a lot of things are happening. It kind of boomeranged after the tariffs, and we're going to also look at that in a separate conversation. Will stay with us. This is a series of conversations that General and I am going to have, and I'm sure you're going to find a lot of information that has hitherto not been connected as dots before. So, General Ravi Shankar, namaskar and welcome to
Namaskar and thanks a lot. It's a pleasure to be facing each other.
It's always a different, right? The energy is different. Each one feeds off of the other person's energy. So it's a different feeling completely. General Ravi Shankar, you know, China has civilizational connect with us. Yet, one can't just say that, oh, we can draw upon the fact that they have a civilizational connect and that they will see things the same way as we do. This has been proven many a time now. It's not something that's new. Recently, we are seeing overtures. China first, banned rare earths and fertilizers to India. That happened for two months. India's just shrugged it off. Now, Wang Yi comes in and he says that, oh, we are going to let you have these things. And also, I am sure they talked about what is going to be discussed in SCO because Modi is going to be going there. India is at a point where now it's facing some challenges from the United States, but this is triggered by what the US is trying to do to India. The same US is not levying the same kind of tariffs on China, although there was a much higher number to start with, then everything has been backed off. So, Trump is on a planet of his own, I think. We'll not worry about that. What he says is not what you want. What he does is what we are looking at. I'm sorry to have this a long-winded thing. Why I am saying all this is China suddenly sees an opportunity to become friends with India again, and our deficit with China continues to balloon.
Yep.
How do you think India needs to respond? Right now they need somebody, so I can understand that part, a compulsion of sorts.
Well, at the outset, I'd like to put one thing across, before I come to the main thing. Everyone talks of a civilizational connect with China. Does it exist? That's the first question. See, throughout history, the Chinese civilization and the Indian civilization, call it the Hindu civilization, were separated by the Tibet landmass. The flow from India to Tibet, the flow from India to China and vice versa was minimal. We never had really any connect except for raw traveler going. There was no trade, nothing. So there were two civilizations which grew apart. When I said grew apart, they grew apart from each other. Now, post 1947-49, 49 when China became PRC and we got independence, you have force-fitted them together where they never had a border. There's a history, there's no mention in history, there's no occasion in history where two great populations have risen together like we are. So it's an unnatural connect, now force-fitted by an unnatural boundary. So there has to be problems. And if you say we have a civilizational connect, as a fallout of that, I think we have civilizational problems between China and India. That's something we have to understand. The Chinese civilization and the Indian civilization are really at odds with each other. The only connect we have is the fact that we exported Buddhism to China, and that with other religions, including the old Chinese civilizational religions like Shintoism or Taoism and all that, have been wiped out by the Communist Party. So there's no civilizational connect. That's the first thing. The second thing is, what is there is a connect between two nation states which have grown up. And that connect is after this border has come, and that connect has not been good. Well, as given that background, can we ever be on a one-to-one wicket with China with a clear understanding of being two Asian neighbors and all that. Difficult. And we have a complete 100% democracy, and that's a dictatorship, autocracy, call it what you want. A communist form of government. So again, there is no meeting ground in this. The only meeting ground is trade and strategy and all that. Well, so that's the first thing. So how far can we go with China is always the big question. And for the past 20 years or 25 years, as we've been rising together, well, China has progressed much faster than us. But the fact is, we have a lot of contested spaces along our border, in the Indian Ocean region, and in our neighborhood, and in other areas of technology and things like that. So, and so far, we've been at loggerheads with each other, barring a few times in between where we aligned. So there's a huge misalignment between the way India is growing and its thought processes and that of China. And in the same period of 25 years, you have developed a strategic partnership with USA over successive administrations, Republican and Democratic, who felt that this has to be the partnership of the century. Well, good, bad or ugly, Mr. Trump with his transactional approach has broken that construct. As a result, India finds itself adrift. What does it do? Okay, now let's get to the present. In USA and China are its two biggest trading partners. So far, with the strategic partnership with USA going, India was okay. It could handle China. But all of a sudden, it finds itself with a huge adverse trade balance, and it has no choice but to turn to someone, because we are at a stage of development where it can't stop. From the Chinese side, it's their dream that if India is weaned away from USA and brought onto its side, then everything changes. The complete geopolitics of Mother Earth changes. Two biggest populations on the rise, power shifting east, all that. So for them, it's a golden opportunity. Simultaneously, over the past 5 years, a few things about China have come to light. That the Chinese population is declining at the fastest rate in human history. That's not a great achievement, right? And their population in about half a century could go by half. So there's resultantly old age, no births, lack of working population, all this. Their economy has been hit post-COVID, and it will remain stagnant for long. There is no recovery in sight for China. Today, China is in a state where it produces almost everything, but there's no one to buy. And there's no consumption within China, and there is stagnation and, in fact, deflation. So how does China get out of it? China could hitherto export its way out of troubles with exporting to USA. And that tap is virtually turned off by Trump, notwithstanding where the tariffs are and all that. So where does it go else? The only other consuming nation is India. The only place where China can invest. Look, China is a duality. It is a rich nation with the poor people. The people are poor, but the nation is rich. When I say the nation, the PRC and the government is rich. It's cash. It's flushed with cash. It's flushed with cash because it sucks up money from the people. So that money has to be invested. So India provides a fertile destination for it to invest into, and a consuming base. Both these will revive its economy. On the other hand, we lack technology, we also lack FDI, and we need to redress this adverse trade balance. How do we do that? You leave USA at this point out of the picture. So One thought process is, okay, let Chinese investment come in, let factories be set up here, produce here. You don't then import, you produce here through Chinese investment, but those will be Chinese entities. We've already had bad experiences with Chinese entities. When earlier we allowed solar firms to put up factories for solar panels and all that, they had front-ended people, Benami guys running that. Actually, the Chinese were running everything, and there was a lot of fraud. We got out of that. Now are you going into a second cycle of that, or what? So we have to be careful about how you let them enter before they corrupt your system. And then the whole idea is defeated. Then there is this issue of allowing their apps to come in, but then there's a counter problem of your information going out. Then of course there's the border. The core of the issue is the border. If the border is not settled, nothing else will get settled. And if you see the framing before Wang Yi came here and what it is, just before Wang Yi came, there was an article which came out in China.
This is messaging bomb.
Messaging. Before that, they very clearly said that the border is the centrality, and we are not going to give 1 inch away from the border. So what the Chinese expectation is that nothing to be considered on the border, and they feel they've achieved whatever they had to be on the border, and that has to be solidified. And so if the border there's nothing to be given, then the whole story is about trade. Is that acceptable to us? It's not. So some kind of border talks has started, but those are all peripheral issues. The hardcore thing is not there. And if our government gives up on this and say falls for it and say, okay, we'll open up trade and all the other things and border talks can continue, then we have lost the deal. But if you say, no, border and this have to go calibrated with each other, then we can talk. And also keep in mind that any trade here has to be reciprocal in nature. It can't be adverse balance. If this adverse balance is there, no trade. You might as well continue like this. Don't let this adversity in balance go up. So within these things, I think we need to trade with China. And also, when you trade with them, you can impose conditions on Pakistan indirectly.
Yes.
Right? So we have value. And it's a difficult proposition, but we have value in that. I think this is a way to go about. Yeah.
Sir, I have an observation to make. In one of our previous conversations, you said, I think, that one condition that India laid down while buying S-400s from Russia is that it would not sell S-400s to China. I'm saying this now again, that Russia actually has stood up to its side. China does not have S-400. Yet, if you look at the media, it makes it look as if they have an even better S-400 than what they have. Basically, what they did was even S-300, I don't think they got the technology right. They just reverse engineered it in a so way, because we know that as a proof and different. So, in China, now being told, okay, you want to do business with India, there are some red lines as far as Pakistan is concerned. You cannot do this. For example, you can't give, viewers don't have to know the details, but I'm sure there are some chinks in our armor as far as standing up to some stuff that Pakistan used against us. Something like that, to at least tell them that you can't give this stuff.
I don't think that will work with China and Pakistan.
That's what I was going to say, that
may
not stand.
No, look, to expect that China will not arm Pakistan and all that, you see, is too much, because immediately after coming here, Wang Yi went to Pakistan.
Yes.
And he said he's promised them the moon.
He didn't go to Pakistan directly.
He went to
Afghanistan and then goes to Pakistan. Very good deception.
Right. So, no, but we know that. I mean, he goes there and he must have told exactly what the deal is. So, I think we have to be cognizant of regional dynamics. It's only regional dynamics with Pakistan. What about Bangladesh? What about Myanmar? We have to be cognizant of all this.
All of them, yes.
All of them. Plus the fact that their trade shouldn't overwhelm us. I mean, a simple thing like flights, okay? earlier we used to have one flight, they used to have 5 flights. The ratio was 1:5.
1:5. My goodness.
So, which meant that they were making money.
Yeah,
Right? And so, these things are what we need to look at, reciprocal trade. The only thing which good has come out is that the trade will be through 3 points. One is Nathula, the other 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗦, and the third is 𝗵𝗡 Pass. Now, the moment it is 𝗵𝗡 Pass, China has accepted that 𝗵𝗡 Pass is part of India, right? Which the Chinese were instigating Nepalese to claim, and Nepalese did claim it at the behest of Chinese. Now, the Chinese have backtracked on Nepal. The good thing is, one, 𝗵𝗡 is back with us firmly. And it had never gone, but there was a dispute. Now the Nepalese will be cut up with China. So you can use that. But that's a very small thing. The larger issues still remain. Where will this go? Will it go to the RIC concept, Russia and India, China concept? How will you balance out USA? Because USA will react sooner or later. We'll have to see how it does. Then the next thing is, this is also an opportunity for us as to what we want to do.
Yeah.
Would you like to continue like this at the, with partnerships? Yes, you must have partnerships. You must have multi-alignment and all that. Is there a case for us to now move ahead and look at Atmanirbharta in a different manner and increase our trade with others? For example, Brazil. With Brazil, we have hardly any trade, just about $12 billion. Is there a case? Because Brazil is a country, it's an interesting country. Brazil is uncomfortable with China. They have never gone in for the UN. They want to be part of BRICS, however. They are more aligned with USA, but of late, Brazil is also under the pump. And Brazil has got a problem with USA like us, and equivalent, though there's no land problem with China, they are uncomfortable with China. So we have a thing there. And incidentally, Brazil has got a positive balance of payments or rather trade balance with China. So it's not under pressure by China. It can't be pressurized by China. So, and then recently our Prime Minister went to Brazil. So for a state visit, and Brazil gave us our Prime Minister's state visit following the BRICS summit, and didn't give the same to China. So there are, so that is one place. Just to give you a comparison, the trade between China and Brazil is $160 billion. Ours is 12 billion. So that is one difference.
Huge gap. Yeah.
Huge gap. So that is one. Same way, Japan. When I was reading, Japan has major problems with China, including territorial problems, senkakus and all that. Plus, Japan has to deal with North Korea, and China comes into the deal there. And Japan has been making overtures to Philippines, Taiwan, South Korea, and Vietnam also for collective security in the ASEAN. And it has problems with China. So do we. And India and Japan are old friends. Similarly, Japan of late has had severe problems with USA. 70% of Japanese in a survey, it comes out that they're not exactly for USA. So far, our equation with Japan has been good, but the trade has not been good. So is there a way to change this? So in this context, not many people realize, everyone is talking of the PM going to Shanghai for SCO.
That he's going to
but
go
he's
from
first, there. He's first going to Japan on 29.
Oh, he's going to Japan
first, and then he's going to...
That says a lot.
So I think by the time he, he has his word in Japan, he'll have a clear idea as to how to deal with it.
Correct.
Right? And Japan has similar problems with the USA. And all these problems of Japan have started in the past 2-3 years. And ours, of course, are recent but more vehement. So overall, I think we have and plus, of course, France has come out now to say, look, France doesn't see a great future in Europe economically. So France has said, okay, we'll make engines and this and that and technology and thing. So we have a way out here. We need to exploit Germany. Of course, UK, we've had a FTA. We have a scope to do a lot of things on IMEC with Saudi Arabia and UAE. So I think the scope is huge. And for that, you need to increase your manufacturing, services, and all that. And that will offset China. But immediately, to some extent, you need China. Your dependency is there. You need to have a proper roadmap. Ever since the August 15th Independence Day speech on the ramparts of the Red Fort, I've heard our Prime Minister talk 2-3 times. And there's now a new consistency in what he's saying. There's a clarity, look, this is what we have to do. I believe he's called all the secretaries and had a sitting one day. This is what we need to do, make a roadmap, come back based on, plans. We'll start executing those plans because we don't have time not to, or the option not to do them. So I think we have a plan. One shouldn't get worried about what's going to happen with China. And we also have to understand we are dealing with a China which is relatively weak, which I explained to you. It's not only their economy and their population, it's their military also which is weak. Just 3 days back, I came to know that a vice chief of naval staff has been sacked.
Yes.
Plus 2 or 3 more important political functionaries in, China have been sacked provincially, heads of provinces. So their internal political scene is not good. Their military is in a weak shape. And, at the end of the day, notwithstanding all the commentary which has come out, the PLA equipment fared badly in Op Sindoor.
Yes.
When I plan for anything with China, I will take the worst case scenario and expect that everything will work there. But can the Chinese have that same confidence? Because they know how their equipment worked or didn't work.
Right.
So if they know that they don't have this HQ9, the same HQ9 is deployed opposite us in Tibet.
Yes.
If it doesn't work, why will it go in for a conflict with us? Okay. They've seen how it behaves.
Yes.
You might have some equipment which has behaved, but a lot of equipment failed. So I don't think militarily we have a problem with them at this point of time. Later we'll see. So this is the thing. I think we can speak to them with a newfound confidence. That's my take about China.
Thank you so much, because this thing I was not aware of. Somehow I thought he was going to SCO first and then going to Japan. Viewers, there's a huge significance in this ordering, because they are connected as, bread and butter, as strongly as that. And this means a lot of things. Japan is, again, for a lack of a better word, has a cultural connect with us.
Yeah.
And Saraswati is worshipped there, Benzai 10. If you go to Kyoto, which is the same letters as Tokyo, that's the cultural capital of Japan. You'll have a wonderful time there. General, thank you so much, sir. And we are hoping to bring this thing on both Gunnershot and PGurus. Wherever you are, please encourage us. Please subscribe to our channel if you have not already done so. Please do share it among your friends and relatives, because these are all words of wisdom, and our whole goal, General Shankar's as well as mine, is to leave something behind for our next generation. You guys have been on IPL for too long. Believe me, that's not going to help you in your life. This understanding how geopolitics works is going to be of immense help to you in doing whatever you're doing. Thanks once again, sir. Namaskar.